All right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. We'll be speaking to Sylvia Mulinge, Chief Customer Officer, Safaricom PLC, in just a bit. But for now, here's something you also need to bring your attention to. Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai says the law enforcers will start enforcing the government directive on wearing masks in public places. The police IG was speaking in Mombasa, where he's on a tour to monitor enforcement of government orders on restriction of movement in Mombasa, Kilifi, and Kwale.
It is compulsory to put the face masks. This is through the Gazette notice dated 6th of this month of April, which was issued by the Office of Attorney General, directing that all people should put on the face masks. These attracts, failure to that, these attracts a stiff fine of 20,000 or imprisonment of 6 months or both if you fail to comply. And I've instructed the police officers to enforce this. And I am calling the members of public. We observe the face mask. We are working with the human face, but it is for the good of the people to use face masks. It is not for the good of the police. It's the good for the people.
All right, and joining me now on phone is Sylvia Mulinge. She's the Chief Customer Officer, Safaricom PLC. They just gave 200 million shillings to the COVID-19 fund on this to deal with the issue of COVID-19, and she's joining me on phone now. Sylvia, good morning. It's good to speak to you. So many people have been wondering, Safaricom gave 200 million. Last year, the profits were 63.4 billion, which was a 14.7% increase. How did you arrive at 200 million, Sylvia?
Good morning, Trevor, and thanks a lot for having me this morning. The way we have to look at it is in the context of what we have done ever since the COVID-19 outbreak affected us. Safaricom has always given a commitment that we will speak with Kenyans in line with our view of transforming lives. And therefore, for us, it was imperative that we step up from the very beginning. The 200 million that we gave yesterday is among many other things that we have done. You're probably aware that we're running the Bonga for Good initiative, which started off at the beginning of this month. It's running until May, which allows customers to actually use their Bonga points and redeem them for goods that they can actually buy in any outlet where there's an Mpesa. And today we are seeing over 20 million points being redeemed on a daily basis, which means that Kenyans have actually taken this up to not only buy themselves food, but also more importantly, support another Kenyan in crisis who probably does not have access to food by transferring their Bonga points to them. Over and above that, there's so many other things that we've also done during this season. I mean, you've seen what we've done with regards to removal of Mpesa tariffs for all transactions that have been transferred below 1,000 shillings. We have doubled fiber to homes, doubled fiber to businesses to help them to be able to cope. We have also given thermal cameras to the government, which help them in managing the tracking of people's temperatures as they come into the country. We have rated all medical care bills. So there's so much that has been done. So don't look at the 200 million in isolation. I mean, if you look at the amount that you have invested, is over 5 billion shillings over this period in terms of the services that we have either zero-rated or highly subsidized, including even mobile data to learning institutions to enable them to continue learning even while they're working from home.
Yeah, Sylvia, explain that to me slightly more, because I know there are many initiatives that you've come up with. One of them was almost doubling internet speeds just to enable people to work from home much more easily. What more have you put in place? And also, how much are you estimating that you've sort of given out during this COVID-19? Because that essentially then eats into your profits as well.
Well, the way we look at it is that it's eating into our profits. It's an investment that we are making to help Kenyans to be able to cope with this period that they find themselves in. So far, we've spent over 5 billion shillings on this, and we will continue to make the investments as is necessary just to help Kenyan citizens, our consumers, as well as businesses be able to cope through this period.
And right now, there's another initiative, Bonga for Good. Walk me through that exactly. How exactly does it work?
So Bonga for Good is an initiative that allows customers to be able to use their Bonga points to pay for essential goods and services. And therefore, they can walk into any shop where there's a Lipa and Mpesa outlet. So you can go to any Naivas, any Tasks, any supermarket that is near you. So long as you can be able to pay with Lipa and Mpesa, you can also be able to pay for your goods with your Bonga points, which therefore means that the Bonga points you have accumulated for all the usage that you have in Safaricom can actually now be used to as a currency to be able to pay for the things that you need. But also more importantly, I know Kenyans have also been asking, how can I help? You probably know somebody, maybe your driver, your house help, who cannot be able to come to your house now, or someone who has been denied an income because of the current situation that we find ourselves in. And what we are doing is asking you can donate your Bonga points, also like a way of like donating cash, and tell them use these Bonga points to actually go and get some necessities for your family, for your home, to keep you going until we get out of the current situation that we are in.
All right, can you change that into hard cash?
we are not generators of currency in this. We don't go to that at the Central Bank of Kenya. But we are doing what we can in terms of helping people cope. And I think it's been very well received. When we look at the number of points being redeemed, 20 million points on a daily basis, sometimes as high as 24 million points, which are Kenyans who are redeeming them and using them for good, which is great. And it encourages us that the initiative is working and helping those who are in need.
Okay. So what is the long-term plan should this pandemic continue? What is Safaricom's projection in terms of also the philanthropy, service provision that will be needed for the people who are working from home?
I think the thing is we will continue to support the government. You're probably aware that we are already providing the call center line that is the 719. So they're all being routed and managed from Safaricom, and it's available for free to anyone, no matter what network you're calling us from. So I guess the commitment that is there from Safaricom is we will continue to support the government of Kenya in whichever way we can so that we all get through this. The other thing is also the commitment that we are making to our consumers. I know we are about to go back to school. I'm also asking, so how will our kids see, how will they learn? And there are a couple of propositions we're going to be announcing by next week in terms of how we'll help people to have access to e-learning. We've already subsidized content from people like Longhorn Publishers and Mpesa, which allows people to continue to learn. And of course, then, all the initiatives that we are doing around making sure that our network remains resilient so that people can communicate. As we say, you may be apart, but you're not alone because our network keeps you connected. So that's the commitment that we have. And obviously, as things evolve, our CEO has committed that we will continue to work with the government, to work with Kenyans until we get through this pandemic.
Sylvia, it's great that you've mentioned the e-learning platform. So how will you ensure then that this doesn't leave out some people in marginalized areas? My village, for example, there's very little network coverage, if I could speak for them. But also, how do you ensure that this captures even the people who don't necessarily have internet access?
So what we've done, so first of all, I hope you are on Safaricom network because we have the widest coverage in the country. If your village is not covered by Safaricom, please share with me. We'd like to look at that because I think we have most of the area, most of the country covered. So that's the first thing. And then also, we've made significant investments in 4G, which means people have a very good quality connection, fast speeds to be able to access. But over and above that, we know there are some Kenyans who probably are not covered or they don't have data devices, either because of their and so they do not have that access. So what we've done is partnered with a company called Mpesa, and you can actually be able to access this educational content for free via USSD. So you just dial a USSD code, and that could then give you access to the learning material that you need. So we have catered for all profiles.
All right, so will this be based on SMS platforms whereby people can now get the lessons, and how will you ensure that there's a credibility in terms of, I know you said this is work in progress. I'm just talking about what you've come up with so far, just to ensure there's also maybe probably credibility in terms of the material and the quality that they get, and ensure that everybody gets the same material. If it is a class 1, class 2, it's the same material for everyone.
So what we are doing is we are also working, our work is to create apps, right? Yeah. The quality of the content is verified by the relevant institutions. So for example, we are partnering now with KICD to be able to avail that content to Kenyans. So our work is in the distribution. So we make sure that we go to the rightful content providers who have been verified and certified by the government, so that whatever content is being availed is per what has been approved by government of Kenya.
All right. Sylvia, as we finish up, what more should we expect from Safaricom going forward?
I think what you should expect is Safaricom has made a commitment that we will be there for you. We'll continue to work with you. Yesterday's announcement is among many announcements that have been made in the past. We'll obviously be making many more announcements going into the coming weeks as we see how the situation evolves. But the commitment that we give Kenyans is that we will always be there for you. You can count on us to work with you through this period.
All right. Thanks, Sylvia. That's Sylvia Mulinge, Chief Customer Officer, Safaricom PLC, speaking to us on phone there. Now, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'll be speaking to Kwame Owini, the CEO, Institute of Economic Affairs, just to make heads and tails of what's happening in the economic front. Very briefly, he'll just tell us whether these initiatives work for the government and for the people as well. And then we'll cross over to Nakuru, where the governor is on standby as well. Governor Lee Kinyanjui will be joining us from there. It's one of the counties that is marked as a hot spot here. They say that it has confirmed about 5 cases. And of course, Nairobi has the lion's share of 106, but Nakuru has 5 so far. We'll find out how prepared the county is to deal with COVID-19 cases. And also Nakuru stands mark in the middle of a transit point when now cessation of movement has been put in place, but people still find ways of going through it to different destinations. We'll speak to the governor also in just a bit, all right? We're taking a quick break. We'll be back with more.